What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All the Mods Expert Mode. Oh yeah, guys. So we are now recording in 1440p. So yeah, guys, I got a new monitor. My main monitor that I've had for a while is 1080. So I always recorded full screen 1080. Now we are at a 1440p monitor, so I'm recording full screen 1440, which, as you'll notice, my toolbar, my hotbar down at the bottom looks smaller, right? If I go into this screen, everything looks kind of tiny. Now, I haven't really changed many settings here. In fact, I've left it pretty much all the same. So I've always left the GUI scale on large. That's the way I've had it for pretty much forever. If we go to auto, it gets really big, and then like everything is super huge. At least that's the way it feels to me. So I'm not really a big fan of that particular thing. So if we go video settings, we can go tiny. That's a little ridiculous. So it's like we have the two options. I kind of wish there was a, whoops, wrong one. I kind of wish there was an option between large and auto. So it kind of feels like it used to. But anyway, you guys tell me, is large too small? Do you prefer the auto? Or is auto too big and you prefer the large? Either way, let me know in the comments down below. So we are still working on trying to get this nuclear reactor, and I let all the stuff happen for, where was it? Yeah, these carbon plates. We have those already done. The next step is that we needed to do is to make these dense lead plates. So I just rolled out 36 lead ingots into lead plates. We need to put those in a compressor, and those will compress them down into the dense lead plates so we can make these guys. So we have a good portion of everything ready to go now. I still have to make these advanced alloys. So that's silver plates. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of silver. A lot of electrum, which is gold and silver. So even more silver goes into all of that. And then the constantan stuff. And this, I can't remember what that is. That is nickel plus copper. We should have all of that stuff. Now, the only thing I am a little concerned about is the silver. Let's take a look how much we have. Silver, we have 155 ingots. That might be enough. We have we have 11 more silver ore and 13 silver dust. So we have a little bit more silver than that. How are we doing on our gold situation? Gold, we have 120 plus some dust. We should be okay on that. Copper, we have 266 plus 512 copper dust. Yeah, I was taking this stuff and running this through whatever our machine is over here. This guy right here is pretty much the only way we can take our copper and smelt that directly. Otherwise, we have to use the other machine we were using previously, way earlier on. Not the metal. Wait, can we do it through the metal alloyer? No, that only makes alloys. That doesn't make just regular ingots. Yeah, I think the only other way, well, I guess we could put it through the smeltery or the heating crucible is what I was thinking of. Yeah, smeltery would be another way we could melt that down. But yeah, I was putting a lot of these copper dust into here since this was right next to our sag mill. But problem is this uses a heck of a lot of power. So we can smelt 3 items at once, but it is using pretty much all of our stored power. And eventually this will run out. We can only do one at a time. But for small quantities, like one single stack, it should be okay. So yeah, we also needed to see how much nickel we have. Oh yeah, we're really good on all of that stuff. I don't think we have much to worry about on that. So yeah, gold, silver, and nickel. There's one more, copper. Yeah, I think we have everything ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start the alloying process. I'm going to start the plate making process, get all of these things set out, and make all of the different parts we need. Hopefully we'll just be able to come back and make all of these different nuclear reactors and all the reactor chambers. I do have to make an advanced circuit, and is that it? Yeah, you know what, that's it. I was thinking these required circuits somewhere, but I guess not. Okay, well, let me go ahead and get to that, and then we'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so we should have pretty much everything together now to make the nuclear reactor and all these reactor chambers. So we need to get 9 of these in total, 6 for the outside and 3 for this one recipe. So we need the advanced machine casings, which requires these basic machine casings. We need, I think, total 9 of these as well. There we go. There's 9 of those, and we should be able to make the advanced machine casing. So hopefully we get 9 of those. We do. Perfect. All right. So then we need the reactor chambers. That's the lead large plates plus these dense obsidians, and there is 9 of those. Awesome. All right. So to get the rest of this going, yeah, we need an advanced circuit, which we should be able to craft. There's the advanced circuit. Let's see. We need our generator. So that is these redstone slime copper heat cables. We were looking at those before. So just slime balls plus some copper gives you 4 of those. You wrap each of those in redstone. Iron furnace, I think we need to make. Let's make an iron furnace. And there it is. There's a generator. Suitable power achievement get. Pretty sure we already made one of those before. Not sure why we did not get the achievement previously. But anyway, here is a nuclear reactor. Finally, so we want the reactor chambers. So the nuclear reactor, 6 reactor chambers. We are well on our way to getting this IC2 nuclear power hooked up. Oh my goodness. So now that we got this, we need to set this thing up. We're going to set this up in such a way that it's going to be perfectly stable. We won't have to worry about it blowing up. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put it. Like, we have some IC2 stuff down here. It might be... yeah, we might just stick it over here and bring the rest of our IC2 stuff from up there down here. I guess we could do that. Yeah, you know what? I think that's gonna be just fine. So let's go. Let's see, it's gonna be 3 blocks wide. So 1, 2, 3. So we'll have space. I think this is where the center of it's gonna be, and then that's gonna be the other side of it. They'll give us some room to add in some more IC2 machines. We already have our cables over here. Yeah, I think that'll be just fine. Okay, so we need to place down the nuclear reactor. I'll place that down right on top of this torch. Just like so. We'll get rid of the torch. Then we can put the reactor chambers around it. But before we do that, let's just take a look. So yeah, you get the 3 columns here just by the nuclear reactor itself. And then if we add in these chambers, like so, that should open up the entire grid. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to get a 3-column repeating thing. It should take 2 quad fuel cells, and then we'll just copy that 3 times. Now this is going to require a lot of stuff, and I'm going to have to look up all the different parts for this thing. I think it requires the component, if I can spell it, the component heat vents, heat exchanger, heat vent. Can't remember. I think it might be this one, or it might be the advanced one. I'll have to look it up. So we're gonna have to get some iron bars, these 10 plates, heat vents, which is iron plates plus more iron bars plus the electric motor, and that is the coils plus 10 item casing plus iron. Yeah, it gets kind of crazy here. It might be one of those things where I want to set up all the auto crafting to get that going. Another thing we really should look at, since we're getting into this IC2 stuff, is we should look at making those overclocker upgrades. These are a little involved to make. You need the electronic circuits for every 2. Some of the copper cables, that's not so bad. And then these 10K coolant cells, which is 410 plates. And then a universal fluid cell. It says 1,000 there, but that's 1,000 millibuckets. Just one of these. Universal fluid cell full of the IC2 coolant, which I think you have to make in the fluid solid canning machine. And I think it's 24 pulverized lapis and water. Maybe it's 12. I can't remember. It's been a minute since I've done this, so I'll have to look all those things up. We'll start getting into this, and then yeah, we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so I've been doing some stuff off camera here. I went ahead and made 4 more electronic circuits and 8 of these insulated copper cables so we can make these overclocker upgrades. Before we start really getting into all these different components, the component heat vents and the overclocked heat vents, which requires a lot of crafting and a lot of our IC2 machines. Before we do any of that stuff, we're going to want to speed them up. We could run them at their default speed, but my goodness, are they slow. All right, so I just got done pulverizing, or I guess macerating 12 lapis, and I think that's all we need per fluid cell. So we're going to try this out and just make sure. Like I said, it's been a little bit of time since I've last done this, so I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So we want fluid enrich, tank or cell. Yep, and then we're going to want to put this here. I think I can just right click a bucket of water on there. Nope, do I have to? Okay, let's do this. I think we might have to drain from cell into tank. Put that there. Yeah, they'll suck the water out of the bucket. Alternatively, we can push water into this, and that's probably going to be the way we end up doing it. But for right now, let's just make sure this works. Okay, so we got the water in there, and apparently, did that just delete my bucket? Might have just deleted my bucket. Okay, that's fun. So we want to swap tanks. We want the water on this side. So we want to put the universal fluid cell. Actually, no, we want to switch this back to fluid enrich. So yeah, fluid cell here, lapis here. Is that going to work? It looks like things are going. So if that works correctly, that full bucket should go away. This should go away. This should go away. We should get a fluid cell. Oh no, it only requires 8. Ew. So is that pushing the items somewhere? I feel like this is pushing items somewhere, and I don't know where those are going to be going. So let's go check it out. Maybe it didn't delete my bucket. Maybe my bucket is just over here and just like push it into the interface. So we have a bucket. And what about the universal fluid cell? Okay. So apparently those just automatically push the items back into the interface. So no, I didn't lose the bucket, and we have the universal fluid cell here. Okay. So to make the overclocker heat vent, to make the overclocker upgrade, so we need the universal fluid cell plus 4 tin plates. So I need to make a recipe for this. So let's get a tin plate going. We'll craft one of those up, and I should be able to come upstairs here and make another pattern for that particular guy. Once that's done, tin plate. All right, so once that completes, we should be able to say that is how this is crafted. I need one more blank pattern. Man, I've made so many of these things. Yeah, I started down the path of auto crafting these guys. We have pretty much everything together in the machines to do that. So I've made patterns, yeah, to make the insulated copper cable. I've made pattern to do the heat vent, iron bars, to make the electric motor and the coil. Let's see, I added a pattern to do the copper cables out of a copper ingot, tin item casing, tin plates. I think that might be, and then I added some stuff here to help out for those electronic circuits. So yeah, I've made a bunch of those blank patterns. The blank patterns we saw before, they're kind of expensive because I use that quartz glass and we don't have that automated. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this stuff. I'm glad it's only 8 lapis per. I thought it was 12 for some reason. I always think it's 12. Maybe it was at one point. I don't know. But anyway, let me finish doing this. This is going to take a while for all of that to macerate. And once we get enough of those, we'll start making our overclocker upgrades. Be right back, guys. All right, guys. So that's pretty simple to get the water in there. I just added 2 transfer pipes to connect this pipe that's already collecting water for our ore washing plant, just to move it over 2 blocks. So yeah, we're keeping our tank full over here now. So we can just go ahead and keep adding our lapis into here as we collect more, and it'll make our universal fluid cells. Okay, so we got all that done. The macerator is going exceptionally slow. That's kind of our bottleneck right here. This is the last of the stuff that we have to do, but that's still going to take forever. So let's start making overclocker upgrades. I got the rest of these things set up, so now we should be able to do this if we have all of the components in the system. I'm just going to make our first 2, and we'll speed up our macerator with that. And there we go. Yeah, so we have everything ready to go for making the overclocker upgrades, provided we have the universal fluid cells full of the IC2 fluid. So putting that in there makes this go a little bit faster. It's not like crazy fast, but that's without, and that's with. It is decently faster. I would like to see probably 4 or 6 of those in here to make this thing go at a reasonable rate. But until then, I'm going to continue messing around with this and making these things manually. Oh my goodness, yep. Definitely want the overclockers in here. We're going to want overclockers in both of these metal formers. Yeah, thermal centrifuge, although I would like to have them in here, that's going to make it use a tremendous amount of power. We really don't have a lot of power to be throwing at this thing at this moment. Or washing plant could probably use some too, but that's not super important. We don't have a lot of nuclear, or I guess the uranium that we're trying to process right at the moment. But anyway, I'm going to continue on with this. Hopefully we'll get the rest of the 4 recipes of these overclockers made, and we'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so I got a good number of these overclocker upgrades made. It seems like as you're making them, things just go faster and faster because like the master area will go faster, and then we can use the metal former to go faster. So we got 2 in here, 2 in here, 3 in our fluid solid canning machine. I didn't put any thermal centrifuge in our ore washing plant. I just stuck 3 more in there. We even have extras over here. So if we look over clocker, we have 9 additional more ready to go. Problem is, as we're adding more overclockers, the machine goes faster, but they use a lot more power. So currently we are using this guy right here, which only makes 32 EU per tick, and that's it. We're trying to share that between all these machines, not going so well. So what I want to do is upgrade that to a different tier. So I made a medium energy 128 EU per tick RF converter. So this will do the same thing as what our current one is, except we'll start producing 128 EU per tick. So since we're going to be producing a lot more power than what we were doing before, these machines, I do believe, only accept 32 EU per tick. If you give them more, they have a chance, or they will explode, one of the two. So I made an LV transformer. So what they should do is convert those 128 EU into, I think, was it 32 EU per tick, or is it 432 EU per tick? Anyway, so it'll make 4 times the amount of power essentially, but we won't have to worry about putting an upgrade in each one of these machines right now. Eventually, I think we would want to have the upgrades in each of these machines and then run just the direct current into each one of them. I think that's probably the better way of doing it, but for right now, this is the simplest way. So let's get started here. We need to, first things first, disconnect the power, because if we just swap this, the other energy converter with this one, it'll just send the power directly to these machines and they'll all just have a bad time. So we don't want to do that. All right, so we need to get rid of, I think, just this one, but I'm going to get rid of the one next to it just to be doubly sure. All right, let's get over here. So we want to remove this guy. That's it. That's all we got to do. The magnet, I can just hold right click and I'll pick it up. All right, so we're going to put this medium energy one here like so. So this holds 1.5 thousand RF. The other one held, I think, 400 RF. Yeah, so a slight difference in the internal power storage there. So now we need to put this LV transformer, and I don't remember how these things face. Pretty sure the side with the 5 dots is the high input side. So let's see, does it face towards me? Okay, it does. So let's use our wrench. We'll pick that up. Right. So if I place this right like this, we should be okay. We should be inputting the 128 into here, and this will be outputting 32 to each one of these single dot sides. So I guess we can check this out, make sure everything's working correctly. Let me grab, oh, I don't know. What do we want to macerate? What were we just macerating? Lapis? Let's grab a stack of lapis, or I guess half a stack. Let's do half. We'll grab some more overclockers. Let's make sure this is all working. So currently 5 is the amount of power that we can use before this was running out. So that seems to be working fine. So if we add in, we can add in like 3 or 4 more. Oh yeah, that seems to be working pretty good, I think. So it looks like 3 is too many, so maybe just 2. Yeah, it looks like we can have a total of 7 if this is the only machine that's drawing power. So we can add in 2 more of those things. All right, so that's going to decrease the process time to 8%, but it increases the power 2,684%. So yeah, we use a lot more power to do this. In fact, we might be able to see we're using RF now. Oh yeah, so we're negative 125 as that machine's going. So our RF supply, we need to worry about, but for right now, I think we're good to go. So I'm pretty satisfied with this being safe. Let's connect one power cable right here. and that should send the 32 EU per tick to all these other machines. Pretty sure that it will send out 4 of the EU packets. If that, I don't even remember if that's how that works, but yeah, it should do like 4 times 32 per tick is the way that's should be working. Anyway, all these machines should be ready to go now. We can add in more overclockers as we see fit. I'll probably put 3 into each one of these. We might be able to put 4. Eventually, I would like to be able to max them out and have like 10 or 16 in each one of those, but I think this is going to be just fine the way that's set up. Okay, cool. So now that we got that done, we don't have to worry about these transformers or the overclockers anymore. So now we got to go into the component heat vents. I do believe we need 12 of these. So in order to make those, the 10 plates plus the heat vents and all these things, I don't think I ever made a heat vent. We do have a recipe to make one. So we should have everything. Yeah, that should just make that right away, I think. Are we waiting on something? Oh, it's making iron plates. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, we should be able to make another blank pattern. Okay, so that I would like to get to the point where I can make these things freely. Just that quartz glass, we're running lower and lower on it. Every time I make one of those, like, oh, are we gonna have enough? All right, so now that we got that done, we should be able to make this. We need 1 tin plate. A tin plate, we need that in the system here so we can fill out this pattern. Previously with any eye, you used to be able to click on this or like search for one of these things and then like drag that item over. You can't drag out a JEI, so you actually have to have that item in the system in order to set the recipe. Yeah, one of those things. Okay, so now we got the component heat vent. We just need to put that into one of these guys. That should be fine. So component heat vent, let's tell it to make 12 of those and let's see where we're at. Okay, so it looks like we have everything available. Unfortunately, that's using too many bytes, I guess. So instead of making 12, let's make 6. We'll do half a recipe. That looks like it thinks that's fine. So we'll go ahead and tell it to craft all those things. So this is going to take a minute for all of this to happen. So yeah, let's go ahead, wait for that. I'll craft up the other 6 once these are finished, and then we'll continue on. All right, guys, so we are currently in the process of making some overclocked heat vents now. Yeah, we're making enough for one of our 3 column sections. Remember, we got to do this 2 more times, so we're going to need a total of 24 of these overclocked heat vents. Now, this is using a whole lot of our resources. So if we look at iron, for instance, we only have 131 ingots remaining. If I told it to make overclocked heat vents, if I told it to make 8 more for a second row, it's going to use 168 of our iron. Yeah, if we tell it to make the 16 to fill up the rest of it, yeah, we're going to be short on iron. We're going to be short on copper. It's using up pretty much all of our resources in order to do this right now. We had a lot of copper that was still in dust form, so I placed that out here. I am automatically extracting out of this chest and placing it directly into our smeltery. Our smeltery smelting that down. The dust you get a full ingot out of, unlike the what was it, the iron. If you put the iron ores in there from Rockhounding, you get less than an ingot. Anyway, these are all 1-to-1. So yeah, we are doing 9 at a time. We're casting out blocks of copper, and yeah, our copper blocks are ending up over here. So yeah, that's working out pretty well. All of our copper will automatically be smelted down. So yeah, iron, once we get all these done, we're gonna have no iron. In fact, we're short 5, right? So I have to go mining for that. So yeah, that's a lot of resource collecting that I need to do. Also, I was watching our power supply down here. Right now, it has climbed back up to 3.7 million, but we are down to about 1.8 million at some point earlier. Yeah, the amount of power that we're using to convert RF into EU is a lot. So thankfully, we're only using the one machine right now, so it's not using a ridiculous amount of power, but it is still using a lot of it. Yeah, we really need to look at getting our RF power supply up a little bit better than what it is right now. Hopefully, when we get our nuclear reactor online, we won't have to worry about converting the RF to EU as much. But yeah, we might still have to do that. But anyway, our RF power still needs a little bit of attention. we're not doing enough work out of it as I'd like. So yeah, we'll have to look at that here very, very soon. So we're kind of stuck right now. I need to go mining. We need to go resource collecting. I'm going to try and get all of those things done for next episode. And hopefully then we will finally be able to turn on our IC2 nuclear reactor. Oh my goodness, guys, this is taking forever, but it's so much fun. I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.